Cooper Flagg has impressed everyone, I think, in these preseason games. He started the last 2 games at point guard over D'Angelo Russell here. But what we just heard, it sounds like Bobby Jason Kidd maybe hasn't completely made up his mind on where Flagg fits in the lineup. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably give it an incomplete right now, just going back from Summer League to right now. I think the beauty of where Dallas is, as we've talked about their depth, it gives Jason Kidd so many different lineups to experiment. And I think the best thing for Dallas, don't be afraid to fail experimenting with lineups. That means whether it be starting D'Angelo Russell or starting P.J. Washington. I just go back to that Oklahoma City team that won the championship. Last year, Malika, they started 30 different starting lineups. And did you know the one they used the most didn't even start during the playoffs here? Certainly the Chet Holmgren injury played a role here. But yeah. I do like what I've seen with Cooper with the ball in his hand. I do agree with Jason as far as from a spacing standpoint. But that's figuring out who you are as a team.
Look, they're going to be one of the better if not the best defensive team in the league, in my opinion. Now, the problem on the other hand is they got to make shots, right? Anthony Davis, he wants to play the forward position. He's going to have to knock down and shoot threes at a high rate. Cooper, obviously, you highlighted, that's room for improvement there as well. But Klay Thompson, P.J. Washington, they're going to have to knock down shots at a consistent rate. Because even last night we saw in the game with the Lakers, the reason that they had trouble scoring is because J.J. went 2-3 zone. He was like, y'all not going to live in the paint. Y'all got to make outside shots. So, again, yes, they're going to defend at a high level. They're going to get transition baskets. The concern comes in is when they get in the half-court set, can they make wide-open shots?
Right. When Anthony Davis is playing the 4, when he's playing the 5, you have a little bit more of that stretching the floor. But while he's playing the 4 here, Bobby, which we know is his preferred position, how do they maximize this lineup? What is this lineup at its best, knowing that we're not going to get Kyrie Irving at least for the early part of the season, if not at all?
Well, you know how you maximize? You maximize on the defensive end. I mean, did you see how big this team is last night when you basically had Cooper at point guard, who's 6'8", 6'9", and then PJ and the 2 7-footers with AD and Derek Lively? I think that will allow them to get out and run a little bit more, open up the offense here based on what they do on defense.
And defense is the vision, right? That's what Nico Harrison was preaching when he made the trade for Luka Doncic and brought in Anthony Davis. But at the end of the day, you're asking, although Cooper Flagg has been tremendous, he's been sensational in the preseason, you're asking an 18-year-old kid, the youngest player in the NBA, to come in, to play out of his normal position, to try organizing the offense and having the ball in your hands a whole lot more for a team that going to the finals isn't enough. You have to win it all, and that is a huge task to put on an 18-year-old shoulders. What were you doing when you were 18, Boban?
When I was 18, I played a World Championship with Steph Curry. It was really long time ago. But people really don't blame. When you have 18 years, you try to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. You always make mistakes. Yeah. It's a part of the life. When you work, you make mistake. Everybody make mistake, and he's super young. I think they try to put him on a different position to try him what he can do, and he can do a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that he can do a lot. For a Dallas Mavericks organization that has a ton of expectations this season, it's just a Herculean task. So that's Dallas's side of this preseason tilt. LeBron James has already been ruled out for the start of the regular season with sciatica on his right side. Now, the Lakers announced that he would be reevaluated 2 to 3 weeks from now, but the timeline for his return, it is starting to crystallize. So for more, we welcome in our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, what details do you have on when we could see LeBron return to the floor and what that process is going to look like for him?
Malika, I'm told LeBron and the Lakers are beginning to look at around mid-November as a realistic potential return and debut for him. October 30th is the soonest they're going to officially reevaluate LeBron James, but it's expected he's going to need some time, probably a couple weeks, 3 weeks after that point. And one thing to keep in mind here with this return process from injury is a source told me this week that LeBron will be taking a patient approach from the rehab with this nerve issue that he's had. And you think about the ramp-up period that he's going to need to get into basketball conditioning, to get into the proper shape that we're accustomed to from LeBron James, because this was not a routine offseason for him. He had this first nerve issues start to develop and occur in late July, early August. And so it's been really an uphill battle since that point. He's superhuman. We all know that. But he is about to be 41 in December, and he is in year 23. So expect some point in November, likely around that mid-November period.
Okay, mid-November is what we could be looking at here for LeBron James. Shams, we appreciate you. We'll see you a little bit later in the show. What you were just looking at on your screen, if we could put that back up, actually, it was the first 20 games of the Lakers season. So if the timetable would hold for that true November right here, LeBron could make his debut around the week of Thanksgiving. Los Angeles plays just 8 games against opponents who made the postseason in their first 20 this season, okay? So they don't have a horrible schedule, Bobby, to start off the year. Of course, what goes through my mind is LeBron James has made 21 straight All-NBA teams. It's something we haven't seen before, and I don't think we'll ever see again. But with him out until mid-November, what could be the biggest challenge facing the Lakers?
I think it's going to be offensively here. I think how do you replace a player that scored in the mid-20s consistently every year here? And when you look at what the Lakers tried doing last night is they basically have been trying to force feed Dalton Connect and trying to give him a bigger role here, and he has certainly been inconsistent. I think you know what you're going to get with Luka every night, and you do know what you're going to get with Austin Reeves. But it's who out of the role players, the complementary players, is going to step in that role. It might be by committee here, Malika, when you look at Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura and certainly DeAndre Ayton, Jackson Hayes, and Marcus Smart but I'm just concerned if you don't have enough offense in some of these games. There might be some games where you're basically going to have to rely defensively, and you might have to just muddy it up here for them to get by in these, this next month.
Bobby, you should have seen, I was hoping that we would just take Perk's face the moment that you said it's going to maybe some struggles offensively. What was the face you made? I think we need to show the people. It was something like that.
Yeah, but he mentioned Austin Reeves, so I kind of went away from that face. But it's, hey.
I know what Perk. I know. I was reading Perk's mind. He was saying, "Well, wait a minute. They got Luka on this roster.
And
he
Austin
can make
Reeves.
Everybody look good."
But think about this, y'all. It's something that's trending in the basketball world, right? And it's the double bigs, right? You got double bigs up here with you on set, Malika. The Lakers, yes, they went out and got DeAndre Ayton, but is JJ Redick gonna play Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton a lot of minutes together on the floor? We don't know, but probably not. But they're going to need to, because think about it. You go against a team like the Houston Rockets, you might be facing Şengün and Steven Adams. You go against OKC, obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. Dallas with AD and Derek Lively. So they're still, in my opinion, going to have trouble in the interior. Yes, DeAndre Ayton is going to solve some of the problem, but with the trend of teams going with the double big lineup, that's where they're still going to have trouble the most in the interior.
But by the way, we have Luka too, and he's the beast. He can carry everything. No, but let's go be honest. I'm watching him in Slovenia team. I'm watching him I play with him. I play with him in Dallas, of course. And I watched him other day how he looked against Phoenix. He looked really good. How he moving, how he react, how he enjoy, how he smile. He's the winner every time because we are friends. I know when we play some small stupid games, he want to win every time. Never mind what kind of game is that. Some stupid random game that nobody cares. He cares, he's a winner, and he can do it. And it's this who he is. And they have good team to win the games.
The table is set. The table is set for Luka not only to put his name back in the MVP conversation, but also to go win a scoring title. The table is set for him to do it.
When you look at a successful season for Boston, this is not a team that really under Joe Mazzulla, their identity is not losing. What is a successful season for them?
Just making it to the playoffs, and I believe that they will through the play-in tournament. They have enough experience. They have guys that could go off on any given night. And if I'm the Celtics, if I'm Joe Mazzulla, the message that I'm preaching in that locker room is we want to protect home, even throughout the course of the season. Boston is already a tough place to win in. You have guys that, could fill up the stat sheet, and again, protect the crib, win enough games to Tatum get back, and you'll be just fine. But Derek White, Anthony Simons, Peyton Pritchard, all guys that could give people work on a night-to-night basis.
And we saw that last night from Derek White. But for the Celtics, just like me when I'm trying to decide, should I have a salad, should I have a sweet treat? It's all about balance, right?
A sweet what?
A sweet treat. I always want a sweet treat at the end of the day, Perk. I want a little scoop of ice cream and a brownie, but we're getting way off track here. For Boston, the balance is looking at success this season versus what does a successful future look like? Bobby, how do they weigh those two things?
Well, I say this tongue-in-cheek. A successful season, of course, would be doing what Dallas did. You make the play and you lose
Right.
and you get the number one pick.
Just
How about
magically
that,
make that
right?
happen.
That's like trying to finding a needle in a haystack. I think a successful season as far as what Perk said, as far as trying to make the playoffs, but also being in a position when Jason Tatum eventually comes back from that injury to be in a position to compete for a championship right where they left off when they lost to New York in that second round series here. And how do you do that? Is it with Anthony Simon's expiring contract? Is it development within? I do believe this team has enough scoring to compete with teams this year, but I do think you have to be in a position when Tatum comes back, whether it be sometimes down the road this year or next year, to be as one of these top 3 or 4 teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and that's going to be a balance.